Hello everybody, I'm saying hello from Cleveland, Ohio. Now, a lot of you that follow the channel know that I'm up here for the Lincoln Electric Spring Make, which is a big maker meetup here at the Lincoln Electric Factory. We're going to be doing some welding and fabricating up here, but while I was in Cleveland, I did a little jump off and stopped at one of my favorite movies' homes, The Christmas Story. Because as a boy, I always wanted my official Red Ryder 200 carbide action range model with a compass in the stock and a thing that tells time, because, you know, that's just what every little boy wanted, right? So I'm here. I want to give you a real quick tour around because this is really neat. Now, I know I'm a nerd. I admit it, total movie nerd. But this is pretty cool. This is the original house behind me with Ralphie Parker's house, but the whole block area here now is a museum, a store. They even have a little bed and breakfast. You can actually stay in the house overnight. You can rent a room here. So it's really neat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the camera around. We're going to go into the museum. They have the original Red Ryder BB gun, see a couple things in there, and then we're going to take a quick tour inside the house. They've done a lot of renovation work to make it as authentic to the movie as possible. So here we go. So this is Gary. He is my tour guide for the tour, and he was nice enough to, after kind of everybody's gotten out of here, give us a little quick tour. This is the museum across the street, and he's going to give us a couple of facts. There's way too much to talk about here. You know, for a long time, it's something you definitely, if you're in the area, it's worth the stop, especially if you're a big movie nerd like myself. So this is the museum, and he has tons and tons of movie facts about the Christmas Story movie. But here's what's so cool about this: if you watch the movie a lot, the Higbee department store where all the toys were in the window, they still have all of that stuff. It's crazy. Leg lamp, right? The old man from the Oh Fudge scene, the jacket that he was wearing, right there. Some of Ralphie, is that Ralphie or Randy's?
Ralphie's costume.
That's Ralphie's costumes right there, some of them from the movie. So
now
we're going to come in here, another leg lamp.
And this is Randy's room.
Oh, this is Randy's room.
And in there you can see Randy's snow
I
suit,
can't put my arms down. I can't put my arms down.
And even Randy's bib up here on the wall.
There's the bib from the movie.
Here's a collection of all the Little Orphan Annie radio.
They're all the different years of secret decoder pins. We'll see one of those over in the house in a minute. But here's the coup de grace, the big mama right here. This is the official Red Ryder 200 carbide action range model air rifle with a compass in the stock right there. How cool is that?
And a sundial.
Then if you come in here, this is the actual chalkboard, and the lady who played the teacher, Mrs. Billingsley, right? Miss Shields. She actually wrote the A++ on the board from the original movie. And then Black Bart and his cronies, there's their costumes.
And those were all local gymnasts.
They were local people. Very low budget movie when it was filmed. That's Mom's robe. And an interesting fact, sorry, technical difficulties here. An interesting fact about this movie is that the pink bunny onesie, I guess we call it a onesie, right? The pink bunny onesie that was the atrocity that he didn't want to wear. Peter Billingsley still owns it. So it's not here in the museum, and he was offered a lot of money, apparently by the $100,000 by the Smithsonian for that, and he said, "Nah, I'll keep it, thanks." I love that guy.
It was a stepping stone to stardom.
So real quickly, explain how the movie Porky's was important. Well, just keep it real brief, but just explain to him how that was important.
The director of Porky's was Bob Clark, and that was about the first hit that he'd ever given MGM. And MGM immediately goes, "Bob, we need Porky's too." And he agreed. But he said, I do have this other little project I'd like to tackle first. And as the story goes, it was a Christmas Story. And they gave him a very small budget of $3.25 million to do the movie. And that's how it came about, because he had done Porky's.
And which was a big hit.
A big hit.
And another really interesting thing in the movie, it never snowed that year, or snowed very little, and it shows how they had to foam and make the snow for the movie. I thought it was extremely interesting. Even in the last scene of the movie, when
Mom and Dad are looking out
the window and it's closing, he said those are instant potato flakes being shaken over the front. So lots of cool. I'm a big movie nerd anyway. Apparently, even Lego has taken on the Christmas Story.
And hopefully it'll be in production by this next Christmas.
That is pretty cool.
It is.
So here's what I want to do. There's a last, over in the house, there's the last group was getting a tour, and everybody wants to get their picture in the leg lamp, because you can actually go and put your hands on the leg lamp in a somewhat, and they encourage you to use a somewhat provocative pose to take your pictures. So people tend to linger at the leg lamp. So what we're going to do is we're going to go out here. They have the old man's Oldsmobile.
The Oldsmobile.
We'll see that, and then we'll go over to the house. I'll give you a quick look around there. Hopefully everyone's out of the house by then, because some people don't want to be on YouTube.
Now this is our 1939 Ford LaFrance fire truck.
So the Ford LaFrance fire truck, it resembles the one that was in the movie, but this isn't the actual one in the movie.
It is not.
But it's the same model, right?
Yes, it is. The one from the movie is now in a fireman's museum on the Canadian side of Niagara Falls. And over here, this is our pride and joy.
This is the
1938 touring sedan Oldsmobile. It was in the movie. However, it is not, again, the old man's.
It's not the old man's, but it's similar.
It was in the movie.
It was in the movie, but it's not the old man's Oldsmobile. So tell me the saying about the Oldsmobile?
Some men are Baptists, others Catholics. My old man was an Oldsmobile man.
I love it. All right, so it looks like that tour over there is finishing up. So let's take a quick look inside the house here. I don't know. Oh, there's still some folks in there.
No,
they're in with the leg lamp. They will go.
They're not going inside.
No, I mean there's people still posing inside right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We could do.
Wow.
So if you've ever watched the movie, which would you say 50
million fans every year.
It gets 50 million views the movie a year. This is the famous spot. Hold on. This is one of my favorite things. I'm just sorry. Indulge me for a minute. Because if you remember, there was a dog's ear slammed in that door right there. And right here is where the old man stood and said, "Sons of bitches, bumpuses!"
Hello.
Hi.
So we'll go on in here. And here is...
No, I've got a YouTuber. We're filming some film.
So here is the living room.
Later.
There's a little Orphan Annie radio. There it is, electric sex gleaming in the window. The all too famous electrical cords from the electrical short.
And
The Christmas tree with the crooked star.
the blue bowling ball.
There's the blue bowling ball. And if you're a real nerd like me, the Simon Eyes. A can of Simon Eyes. And there's the BB gun. And then you explained that some things have been had to be moved around in the house a little bit because of
restoration. He had to completely rebuild the house. Also, there's an issue with traffic. For example, the staircase, when in the movie, went directly into the living room. But because of traffic and congestion, we had to put a railing there. Now, the interesting story about the lead crate was that the carpenter who built it did not measure the doorway. 4 inches too wide for the door. So they tell him, take 2 inches off both sides and let's move on. Didn't listen. He cut off the T. So when you're watching that scene, so adjust the positions between both.
See, it should say this end up it says his end up. So there's actually two crates, right?
Yes. One, and in the movie, it juxtapositions between both. You'll see this end up and his end up. This end up, soundstage. His end up, shot here in the house.
That's cool.
In honor of that, everything we sell is his end up.
His end up. So, because it was filmed here in this house. Got it. Love it. So what's interesting is that my grandmother had that exact, I guess you call it a break front or china cabinet. My sister has it in her house now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we still have it.
Very cool.
So we'll run, I tell you what, let's go upstairs.
Yeah.
And then we'll go upstairs, and then what we'll do is come back and we'll look at the kitchen and then see where he shot Black Bart with the BB gun.
Yes.
I mean, you know, right?
There's the phone.
Oh yeah, there's the phone where Schwartz got in all the trouble. It was Schwartz. And what's interesting is if you, can you hear it? So if you pick up the phone, I don't know if it'll play, but how cool is that, man? That's pretty awesome. So here's the famous bathroom scene. There is the correct Little Orphan Annie decoder pin, and it says, "Be sure to drink your Ovaltine." A crummy commercial. Son of a bitch. So, hold on. Let's give him.
Well, look, magazine.
So here's something that's interesting about the Little Orphan Annie decoder pen. You said every year, is that right?
Every year from 35 to 53.
From 1935 to 1953, the Orphan Annie they put out a decoder pen, and every year it was different. So they're able to date the decoder pen by the code that they give in the movie. So they know that it's about 1940. So the movie is supposed to be around 1940. That's pretty interesting little bit of information.
And here's the boys' bedroom.
And there's where the dreams of BB gun mania took place. There's where he woke up to a winter wonderland. And most of this stuff is original. Some of it's had to been, replaced with like kind type stuff because it was lost. Explain about the building real quickly. It was used as a motorcycle dealership for a while.
No, it wasn't a dealership. It was just a neighborhood repair shop. And the house had fallen into disrepair from when the movie was done in '83 to when Brian Jones purchased it in 2004. And it required a major renovation.
So the interesting thing about all this is that one man pretty much capitalized on the fact that this house was for sale on eBay for $90,000 when most houses weren't worth $20 in the neighborhood. He paid $150 cash, sight unseen, no bids, no nothing, and he bought the house and then has put all of his resources into making it into the museum that we love today. Can I please put up, somebody said, "Welcome to Cleveland, thank you. Can I please put up your email, please?" Let me see if I can bring that back up. My email is dorightfab, DORITEFAB @gmail.com. Okay, we're gonna go down the stairs. We're gonna see the all too famous coal furnace, go out the backyard and see where Black Bart got shot by Ralphie Parker. They've done a really, really good job with this house, trying to make it as authentic as possible, keeping in mind that when they had to restore the house, it did have to meet certain code requirements, keeping it in the spirit of the movie as much as possible. There are a few things. Explain to them real quickly about how during the scenes things had to get moved around, like in the house, to make room for the light booms and all that. Because I know,
as you can imagine, residential homes do not lend themselves to movie making, booms, cameras, lightings, cast crew, what have you. And there is a trick to this movie, and in all cases this is true, either upstairs or down. Whenever the drapes are closed, that was done on a soundstage. And in all cases, Where the drapes are open, that was shot here in the house, either upstairs or down.
That's pretty neat. Jeff Moss, he says this is his hometown.
Cool.
So,
We look forward to seeing him.
so here you go. How about this, huh?
No cabinet.
Daddy's gonna kill Ralphie. Still here in the house. How cool is that, huh? The kitchen has been renovated, right? It had to be.
Yes, it is.
It had to be renovated. It does look a little bit different.
It's a lot smaller. It's about a third smaller because when he rebuilt the house, he also built a loft upstairs, which we now rent out for families to stay in overnight. Sleeps up to 6.
So if anybody wants to come stay in the Christmas Story house at Christmas time, it's got to be 4 or 5 years from now.
4 years for all of December is booked.
But any other time you can come, you can rent a room and you can spend the night here in the Christmas Story house. Those of you that are the movie fans, you will recognize this. That's the real deal. The
Damper.
old man screaming about the damper. Frickenheimer, Schnugeldagen. And so we're going to go.
It's a clinker.
That's a Klunkenheimer. So we're going to go out the back door.
Yeah. There's the washing machine.
Old dependable Maytag. They don't build them like that anymore.
No, they don't.
So this is where Black Bart, he shot Black Bart and all the criminals hopping over the fence. That is the original shed. There used to be like a play set or something right here in the movie,
yeah,
right?
Jungle gym or a trap, but lawyers and insurance companies say
They made
no.
you take it down, so they put that there to keep it in spirit. But what's interesting, and I never picked this up in the movie, I'm a big nerd for this movie, is there's an ironworks. Let's see if I can give you a steel mill right there behind. You can kind of see the structure of the steel mill and the smelters right there. And I never really picked it up in the movie, but it was there in the movie. And it's now, what's the name of the steel mill now? What was it then?
Then it was J&L Steel. Today it's ArcelorMittal, still an active steel mill.
Very cool. Very cool.
And that was one of the deciding factors on choosing this site.
Oh, really? So that it looked like Americana?
Yes.
Very poor. So there's just so much to see here at this. If you're a movie nerd like me, there's so much to see here. I highly recommend if you're in this part of the country, you could probably do the tour. Realistically, you'd want to give yourself about 2 hours to go through and read all the stuff about the movie. If you're a history guy like I am, you like to read all the little captions. I mean, it's like what the tour is $11.
Yeah,
$11 to get in the house and to go through the museum. It's like nothing. It's quality. It's very clean, very well done. It's not garbage. Obviously, the man knows his business. Again, it's the Christmas Story Museum House. I am here at the Lincoln Electric Factory for the spring make. I'm going to be there with a bunch of other YouTubers starting tomorrow. We're going to be doing some live stream there. I'm going to be doing a little teaching as well as a few other guys. We're going to be doing a lot of other live feeds there to be able to get to interact. So you can interact like with Jimmy DeResta, April Wilkerson, Doug from Retro Weld, and there's a bunch of other guys. Right now, honestly, I can't even remember who all is going to be here, but I am here. It is happening. Watch the Do Right Fabrication YouTube channel and the Do Right Fabrication Facebook page and my Instagram. I'm going to be trying to do live feeds and update you guys with what's going on. Keep in mind, when I schedule these live feeds, I'll try to schedule them out as far as I can. Be sure to click on them live, because if you want to get a message to anybody that's there, it's a good time. I can just say, hey, April, hey, Jimmy, hey, Doug, whatever, somebody wants to know something, and I'm happy to pass that on. Again, Cleveland, Ohio, you notice that I am the nerd, the quintessential nerd. I admit it. I am totally good with it. It's, I don't know, how cold is it here?
About 33.
It's 33?
Yeah.
That's unheard of. In Florida, if it was 33, I'd have 2 shirts and a Carhartt on. It's totally different than Florida weather. I am really wearing short sleeves and a jeans. It's like nothing. But anyway, I wanted to just share this with you. I thought it was so cool. I'm going to do another thing on Superman, because Superman actually came from Cleveland, Ohio too. So I'm going to try to work that in. I don't know if it's going to work. But anyhow, thanks for watching. Stay tuned, and we'll see you real soon.
All right. Very cool. Well done.